Hello everyone, my name is Matthew and this is Learn the Lingo. Welcome to Lesson 4 of Hebrew Basics, a series where we are learning the essentials of Hebrew grammar. Today we are going to pick up from our last lesson and continue to learn how to use adjectives in Hebrew. In our last lesson we learned how to say a small cake in Hebrew. In Hebrew we don't have a word for a, and also in Hebrew the noun, uga, cake, comes first, and then the adjective that is describing it, katana, small. So a small cake in Hebrew is uga katana, with the noun first and then the adjective. Let's begin today by learning how to say the small cake in Hebrew. You may remember that the in Hebrew is a letter hey attached to the beginning of a word that usually has an ah vowel. In the case of uga, that ah vowel will be a kamatz, and so this is ah. So you attach a ha to the beginning of the noun uga to get ha uga. So, is the small cake ha'uga katana? Not quite. Think about what we are attaching the word the to, small cake. Because we are attaching a the not only to the noun cake, but also to the adjective small, in Hebrew we attach a letter hey to both uga and katana. So attaching a the to katana, we get haktana, and so the small cake in Hebrew is ha'uga haktana, with a letter hey, meaning the, attached to both the noun, uga, and the adjective, katana. The small cake, ha'uga ha'ktana. It is very important to remember to add the hey to the adjective, ha'uga ha'ktana, because ha'uga katana, without a ha on katana, does mean something. Ha'uga katana means the cake is small. Now, this may be kind of confusing because the word isn't in this Hebrew phrase, but Hebrew actually does not have a word is, or any other present tense of the verb to be, such as am or are. If we translated ha'uga katana literally, we would get ha'uga, the cake, katana, small, the cake small. But to translate it correctly, we would need to add the word is in English. The cake is small. It may seem a little strange that Hebrew doesn't use or even have the word is, but this lack of the verb to be also commonly shows up in informal English, as in you okay instead of are you okay. The difference is that Hebrew does this much more and also does it in formal, grammatically correct settings. So, ha'uga ha'ktana means the small cake, since we are adding the to both small and cake. Ha'uga ha'ktana. But ha'uga katana means the cake is small, since the ha is only on uga and not on katana. That means katana is still describing ha'uga, the cake, but it is not under the umbrella of the word the, and so this phrase means the cake is small. So those are three adjective and noun structures in Hebrew: uga katana, a small cake; ha'uga ha'ktana, the small cake; and ha'uga katana, the cake is small. Let's practice these structures with a few other nouns and adjectives. Let's start with the noun lechem, bread, and the adjective rak, soft. Lechem is a masculine singular noun, so to make the adjective rak agree with it in gender and number, we don't have to change it at all, since rak is the default masculine singular form of this adjective, which already agrees with lechem, a masculine singular noun. Our first structure in English is just adjective, noun. Sometimes an a may be put at the beginning of this structure, however, with the noun bread, we usually don't use the word a. So to translate this structure into Hebrew, first we put the noun, lechem, bread, and then we put the adjective that is describing it, rak, soft. So soft bread in Hebrew is lechem, bread, rak, soft. Lechem rak, soft bread. To make our second structure in English, we just add a the to the beginning of the adjective and noun, the soft bread. In Hebrew, the is made by adding a letter hey to the beginning of a word. So we have ha lechem, the bread. But since we are adding the to both the adjective and the noun, in Hebrew, we also have to add a letter hey, meaning the, to the adjective as well. So we don't have ha lechem rak, but ha lechem harak. So the soft bread in Hebrew is halechem harak, the soft bread. And finally, our third structure in English is the noun is adjective. In this case, the bread is soft. To say this in Hebrew, we just say the bread, halechem, and rak, soft. Hebrew does not have a word for is, and so that's all we have to say. Halechem rak. The bread is soft. And so those are 3 noun adjective structures using the words lechem, bread, and rak, soft. The first structure is made in English by putting the adjective first, soft, and then the noun, bread. In Hebrew, it goes the other way around. First we say the noun, lechem, and then we say the adjective, rak. Lechem rak, soft bread. To make the second structure in English, we attach a the to the adjective and noun, the soft bread. To say this in Hebrew, we attach a letter hey, meaning the, to both the noun and the adjective, ha lechem, ha rak. Ha lechem, ha rak, the soft bread. And our third structure in English is the noun is adjective. The bread is soft. To translate this into Hebrew, we don't have to translate the word is because Hebrew does not have a word for is. We just translate the bread into halechem and soft into rak. Halechem rak. The bread is soft. Halechem rak. Let's make these 3 noun adjective structures with one more noun and adjective. The noun we'll be using is beitzim, which means eggs, and the adjective that will describe it is garua, which means bad. But we can't just use garua in its default form because this form is only used for masculine singular nouns, and the word beitzim is plural. Not only that, but beitzim is actually a feminine noun, despite its im ending, which is usually used with masculine plural nouns. In Hebrew, it's very common for nouns to have an ending that does not match their gender. However, the adjective that is describing it will have an ending that matches its gender and number. So, to make garua feminine plural to match beitzim, which is a feminine plural noun, we will need to add an ot ending. But before we do that, there are a couple other things we need to do. The first thing we need to do is remove this patak from under the ayin. When a word ends with an ayin or chet and that letter has a patak under it, when we add an ending to that word, we must remove the patak from under the last letter. Also, when we are adding an ending onto a 2-syllable word, here we have 2 syllables, ga-ru, the vowel of the first syllable will be shortened to a shva if it is an ah vowel. So that is now a shva, and now we will be able to add the ot ending, which is vav with cholam and a letter tav. That says ot. And so that's the feminine plural form of garua, garuot. So now that we have a noun, beitzim, eggs, and an adjective that matches it in gender and number, garuot, bad, we're going to make 3 phrases in Hebrew. In English, these phrases are 1, bad eggs, 2, the bad eggs, and 3, the eggs are bad. If you would like, pause the video and try to translate these phrases into Hebrew all by yourself. And when you're ready, play the video and we'll do it together. Alright, are you ready? Let's first translate bad eggs. Now, this phrase has the same structure as a small cake and soft bread. First we have an adjective, and then we have a noun. To translate this kind of structure into Hebrew, first we say the noun, and then we say the adjective. So we have beitzim, eggs, and then guruot, bad. Beitzim guruot, bad eggs. Beitzim guruot. Our next phrase is the bad eggs. This phrase has the same structure as the small cake and the soft bread. Remember, to translate this kind of structure into Hebrew, we add a hey, meaning the, to both the noun and the adjective. So we have ha beitzim, ha guruot. Ha beitzim, ha guruot. The bad eggs. Ha beitzim, ha guruot. And our last phrase is the eggs are bad. This phrase has the same structure as the cake is small and the bread is soft. Now, in Hebrew, we don't translate the word is or are. We only translate the eggs and bad. So that will be ha beitzim and guruot. Ha beitzim guruot. The eggs are bad. Ha beitzim guruot. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And click on the bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.